Hi and welcome to Never Say Neverland. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 10 tips for a calmer Disney cruise. If you are new here, my name is Sam. I am a Disney mum that has been travelling to Disney for over the last 30 years, and I am documenting and creating blog posts and resources for other neurodiverse families like my own. I have a son who is 6 who has autism and my daughter who is 9 with sensory challenges. So welcome on the journey. Now, as you can tell by my accent, we are from the UK. We, over the last couple of summers, have been sailing on the Disney cruise sailings from Southampton in the United Kingdom. We have sailed on the Disney Dream last year and the Disney Fantasy this summer. Now, the Disney cruise summer sailings from the UK can be so magical and ideal if you are living in the UK, but they can be very busy. Having sailed on numerous cruises, I'm sharing the learnings that our family have benefited from for a smoother and calmer sailing, avoiding most of the crowds. We're a neurodiverse family, but to be honest, these tips will support any family or any guest on board a Disney cruise, especially if you're looking to dial down the chaos and up the magic. There are so many magical moments to be found. Tip number 1. Prepare yourself and your family before you go on a Disney cruise, especially if this is your first ever cruise. Watch blogs, read blogs, go on the Disney site, find any information that you possibly can around the Disney cruise, especially if you have never cruised before, because it's an amazing experience, but it's unusual. You will not have experienced anything like that before, especially a Disney cruise. So check out those vlogs. Oh, did I mention we have a Disney vlog series on our Disney cruise? Click the link up here and watch how we got on. Packed full of all the neurodiverse tips you could want, loads of hacks, loads of magic. Check it out. Tip number 2. Download the Disney Navigator app on your phone before you board the cruise. Yes, there is Wi-Fi on board. You will have to pay for it after a certain period of time. Download it beforehand because this is going to be your absolute go-to guide when you are on board the cruise. I've created a Disney planner for neurodiverse kids, but is suitable for any children that are boarding a Disney cruise. It is a fun and interactive way for them to plan their cruise. There is an attraction list on there where they can colour in which attractions they cannot wait to do, which ones they're happy to dump overboard, which ones they might be a little bit nervous about. You want to take this list once you have your Navigator app, scroll through all the activities, match them up and put little hearts next to each one. That way the Navigator app is going to remind you throughout your cruise, oh, Mickey's meeting in the atrium, oh, Donald Duck's down by Preludes, and you'll be able to go and tick off everything on your to-do list without the stress of constantly having to search around, what have we missed, what's coming next. It'll be all there in your planner. Take away the stress. Tip number 3. Now, embarkation day can be overwhelming, even for those long-term cruisers that have done multiple ones. It can be chaotic. Let's not beat around the bush. So my top recommendations for you are to get your children some ear defenders, or if they prefer the inner earplugs, we use loops in our family. Get yourself some of those, even just for the magical onboarding process where they are announcing your family's name, which is such a lovely touch. It can be loud and overwhelming. I even got overwhelmed during our last trip. So you will board the ship, they will introduce your family. I would then suggest don't hang around. Don't hang around the atrium. Don't rush off and do 1,000,001 tasks. Go to the restaurant that is hosting your welcome aboard sit down lunch. If you're not sure which one that is, ask a cast member. They will be more than happy to point you in the right direction. On our last cruise on the Disney Fantasy, it was in Animator's Palette. We were able to sit down in a much quieter environment rather than the hubbub and the hustle and bustle of the buffet restaurant on the top deck, which was Cabanas on Disney Fantasy. Once you have filled your belly, because let's face it, no one wants hungry children on a cruise, especially not on embarkation day, You can always return back to the atrium when it is a little bit quieter, usually once you have set sailed or people are off doing their activities. It's just not worth the stress to be trying to take photos when people are boarding and there's the constant announcements going through. That is a surefire way to overwhelm everybody. Tip number 4. Now, this is a controversial one. As a family, we make the conscious decision to avoid the sail away party. Now, if you're not sure what the sail away party is, it is usually after you've had your safety drill, your muster drill. If you're unsure of what the terminologies for those are, I'll pop down in the description a link to my blog post that explains all the Disney cruise jargon. But the sail away party is where all the characters come out on top deck, they dance and sing on stage, and everybody has a wonderful, enjoyable time. Now, there's nothing against the sail away party. I have done a couple of them and they are wonderful. They're just not right for my family. And for us, we take the decision to avoid the sail away party and utilise that time when everybody is on the top deck to go off and explore other areas of the ship. Now, during this time, there is usually an open house in the kids club, which means that adults, children of all ages can go and explore the kids clubs and all the things that it offers. Now, my children are not kids club children. It's not a space that my son would be comfortable or able to roam around in. He is an eloper, so he likes to run. So for us, this is a way of us safely exploring it with us as a family able there to keep an eye on him. So we went and had a little look around on the Dream, and it was Andy's bedroom, which he absolutely adored. On the Fantasy, we took my daughter to go and have a look round. We had a little play on the Star Wars games. We were sailing the boat, not the actual boat, it was a game. And it was lovely and peaceful in there because the majority of the ship were on different decks. Now, obviously, they will only be at the sail away party for a short period of time and then they will all come back down. So I would be quite prompt if you did want to do that. Another area that's really good to explore whilst the sail away party is on is to go and look at the adult areas or the bars. Now, the children actually can go and have a look around the bars. The ones on the Fantasy were really cool. There was one that looked like the London, I think it was called the Tube, had a London theme to it. There was another that had a big carousel looking bar area on there, which was beautiful. Yeah, take that time to go and explore and find those little quiet spots. Another quiet spot that you might want to go and have a look around is the cinema area. There may not be films showing on there, but you can still go in and explore, or even just sit for a few moments peace. Tip number 5. Now, this tip might just be my favourite ever hack for Disney World, Disney cruises. Like, get up early. Disney World, get up early, rope drop. Honestly, game changer. On the Disney cruise, my son doesn't sleep. He sleeps at night, he gets up early. And when I mean early, I mean like 4 o'clock. So when we were on the cruise, we actually got up, we were still in our pyjamas, shoved a jumper on top, cap for our messy hair, and we headed out around the boat. Now, it was about 5:30, and when I tell you, there was not another guest out on deck. Cast members, all busy doing their setup for the day, not another guest. We had the atrium to ourselves. We could snap every photograph we wanted of the statue. We were able to pose on the stairs. We were able to explore in utter peace and quiet. And my son was able to just run free and me not worry that he was going to crash into someone or cause some damage. He was just so free. And for a parent that's child is neurodiverse and often has to be kind of held back for things, that it was just such a joy to experience. So if you are on a Disney cruise, get up early and explore. You might even see us out and about. If you do, come and say hi, give us a little wave. Another benefit to it is you get to see the most beautiful sunsets and be first in line for the Mickey Waffles, winning. Tip number 6. Now, each night there will be some kind of evening performance, but on certain days when we had the Frozen musical showing, there was a matinee performance. Now, we did originally think we were going to opt for that one because by the time the evening performances came around, my son was just done. But actually we chose to skip it. Now the matinee was around lunchtime, and actually so many people with younger children from the ship went in to watch it. That meant the ship felt a lot quieter, a lot calmer. We were able to go up to the top deck and enjoy a complimentary ice cream or two. We were able to eat in the Cars themed quick service that was up there without the hustle and bustle of all the people around. Obviously, once the matinee ended, everyone came back out. We used that time then to go back to our room and regulate. But honestly, if you can watch the evening performance on the days that they do matinees, utilise the time when everybody is in the theatre in order to go and explore some areas that normally you would avoid when it's busy. Tip number 7. Now, the most chaotic experience I had on the Disney cruise was on Embarkation Day when the shops first opened. Now, the demand in the UK for the merchandise in the Disney stores is wild, and I was very, very overwhelmed by it, probably not prepared enough for it. But that made me think of what tips I would suggest to other people in order to avoid it. Now, if this is your first ever Disney cruise, and perhaps you have children that love Mickey and Friends or love a good soft toy, my top tip for you would be to check out the Disney store ahead of when you travel. Now, in more recent years, they have released European cruise specific merchandise, which has had some Spirit jerseys, there were some tumblers, some ears, possibly even some bags. They're not going to be your ship specific ones, so not your Disney fancy bag, but they will be specific to the European sailing. They also sold some of the Mickey and Friends characters, so kind of Captain Mickey, Captain Minnie. I think Donald was also available. Now, if that is a character that your child's going to like, perhaps purchase it before you get on board the ship. You can always stow it away in your bag and hide it and bring it out when you are on board to keep the surprise and the magic. However, one of our learnings from this year was that the stock levels were very low on the soft toys. The only ones available were Daisy and Goofy. So therefore, if you planned ahead and purchased these toys, you would be able to have them in your bag. It just saves any disappointment for your children. Another top tip is if there is something you absolutely must have that's from the shop, before they open on Embarkation Day, go and have a look through the windows. Scout out where that particular item is that you want, so that you know when you go in that shop where you're going, because they're quite large shops, where you're going, grab the item you want, pay, get out pronto. There's no trying to hustle and bustle around, find where the item is, realise it's the other side of the shop, but you can't get through the sea of people. That's just a recipe for chaos. So scout out where the item is, get it, pay, go. I'd also suggest returning back to the store on a later date. They're only open during sea days. They're not able to be open and selling things when you are at port, so that's worth noting. But quite often, if you go back later on in your cruise, a lot of the merchandise is still there. Obviously, the high ticket items will probably have been snapped up on day one, but you're not going to miss out. You're still going to get some kind of Disney merchandise to remember your magical trip. Number 8. Now, if character meet and greets are high up on your list of priorities for you or for your family, you're probably going to find on a Disney cruise sailing from the UK that the queues are going to be long, and people will get there earlier than the allotted time for the character meet and greet. So my suggestion to you would be to try and get there at least 15 to 20 minutes ahead of time. There will still likely be a queue, but you have a higher chance of getting to see your character quicker, nearer the time that they are due to come out. If your child likes a character but isn't actually fussed about autographs and posing for a photograph, what I would suggest is swinging by the location where a character is due to meet and not being in the queue, but standing nearby where they're going to be. Quite often, the characters will walk through the corridor, greet a few guests, give them a high five here or there. They won't stop and take photos or sign autographs, but if that's all your child wants, it's just a wave from Mickey or a high five from Donald, that is a really good top tip for you. Tip number 9. Now, if you are a water slide fan, you are going to want to try the Aqueduct. But when I tell you the queues for that can be almost up to an hour, yes, really. You're going to want to try out this top tip. Now bear with me. Us Brits, yes, we're used to the cold. But the tip I'm going to share with you was very cold. We arrived at the aqueduct at opening at 9 a.m. when everybody was sat having their lovely breakfast in the sit-down restaurants or in cabanas. We were in our swimming costumes, shivering just outside the aqueduct. But we were able to ride the aqueduct twice in a row with no queues. Yes, you heard me, no queues. Now that was enough just to appease us, to get our water slide fix. Yes, it was cold, but was it fun? Hell yeah. It was so fun. We still had all the laughs, all the giggles. Yeah, the water splashes were quite cold, but man, did that save us some time. So again, my tip to you is get up early. Do the things earlier in the day, because those families that take a slower pace and they like a lie-in, you're going to get ahead of them. Then use the afternoon to have a little power nap. Sit on your balcony, have some chill time. But if you can get up early and crack out some of these fun activities, you're still going to have all the same level of fun and less of the queue. Number 10. So my final tip for you, and again could be a controversial one, is to skip an evening meal. Now my son's neurodiverse, and actually sitting down at multiple sit-down meals is just not for him, particularly evening ones. If you were really set on having a meal, some of the restaurants do have lunchtime sit-down meals that perhaps you could go and have your family get-together meal then, and then skip the evening one. Because during that time, if you skip your evening allotted restaurant time, you're going to have half the ship are going to be in dinner, the other half are going to be in the show, which therefore means the ship's going to be fairly quiet and empty for you to explore. We did this one night and we'd already eaten at Enchanted Garden before. Some of us didn't feel very well, so we decided to skip the evening meal, myself, my sister and the kids, and we just explored the deck. And it was so peaceful and calm. Again, my son could run freely. Yes, you're not going to necessarily have lots of character meet and greets because they anticipate most of the guests won't be there, but we were able to go and sit and watch Funnel Vision, eat some more ice cream, because what else do you do on a Disney cruise? And if you want to eat food and you do get a bit peckish, you can also order 24/7 room service. Top tip. So surely that's a no-brainer, right? So obviously these are our top tips that work for our family. They're not going to work for every single family, but pick and choose the ones that feel right for you. Honestly, there are ways to make your Disney cruise your own. Make it magical. Explore the bits you want to see without the crowds. Yes, Disney sailings from the UK can be crazy busy. They can be hectic, but there are definitely ways around it if you plan and prepare. By having our Disney planner for kids, you can sit with your children before you even get on board the ship, work out all the fun things they might like to try, things they'd not even considered. Watch vlogs if you're not sure what individual things are. Read blogs. I have a blog, people. And just research and work out a plan of action. Yes, it's a holiday and you don't want it to be regimented, but seriously, you're going to get the most magic out of your trip if you just do that little bit of forward planning. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Please check out my Disney cruise vlog. We have content from the Disney Fantasy. There will also be Walt Disney World content as well coming up soon. I'm always posting about Disney hints and tips for UK families. I'd love if you could comment, and if you have any questions, pop them down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.